Imagine you step into a vehicle. No wings, no wheels, just you, and the ability to move at the fastest speed the universe allows, 186,000 miles per second. You press go, and everything changes. But here is the question nobody warns you about. Traveling at the speed of light does not just get you places faster. It does something far stranger to you, to time and to reality itself. What actually happens if you travel at the speed of light? The answer is not what science fiction taught you. Let us start with the number itself, the speed of light, roughly 300 million meters per second. In the time it took you to read that sentence, a beam of light could circle the entire Earth about 7 times. That is not fast. That is a different category of existence. And for most of human history, we had no idea light even traveled at a speed. Ancient thinkers assumed it was instant, that the moment a candle lit, the whole room simply existed in brightness with no delay. It was not until the 17th century that astronomers began to suspect otherwise. Then Einstein came along. And he did not just measure light, he made it a law. Nothing with mass, he said, can ever reach the speed of light. Not a rocket, not a particle, not you. The closer you get, the harder the universe pushes back. It is not an engineering problem. It is a geometry problem. Space and time themselves resist you, so when we ask what happens if you travel at the speed of light, we are already bending the rules. But let us bend them. Let us imagine you could, because what you find on the other side is extraordinary. Here is the first thing you need to know about moving near the speed of light. Time is not a constant. It is not ticking at the same rate for everyone everywhere. It is more like a river, and speed is a current that slows it down. This is called time dilation. And it is not theoretical. We have measured it. Even at the modest speeds of a commercial airliner, atomic clocks on board tick ever so slightly slower than clocks on the ground. The difference is tiny, billionths of a second, but it is real and it is measurable. Now scale that up. Dramatically, as you approach the speed of light, time dilation becomes violent. At 90% of light speed, time for you slows to roughly half the rate of a stationary observer. At 99%, even less. At 99.9%, you are aging in slow motion compared to everyone watching you from Earth. And at the speed of light itself, time stops completely. A photon, a particle of light, does not experience the journey between stars. For the photon, departure and arrival are the same moment. It exists outside of time as we understand it. If you traveled at light speed from Earth to the nearest star, 4.2 light-years away, 0 seconds would pass for you. You would not notice the trip. You would simply be there. But time is only the beginning. Space breaks too. As your speed climbs toward light speed, distances in front of you compress. This is called length contraction. The 4 light-years between Earth and Proxima Centauri, that enormous gulf of emptiness, would squeeze down, from your perspective, towards 0. The universe, in a sense, folds itself toward you. Think of it this way. Imagine a long corridor. At a walking pace, it takes you a minute to cross. Now imagine the corridor itself shrinks as you run faster. By the time you reach light speed, the corridor has 0 length. You cross it in 0 time. This is not a trick of perception, it is how the geometry of space-time actually works at extreme velocities. The universe is not the same shape for everyone. It depends entirely on how fast you are moving through it. Here is where things get truly uncomfortable, because there is a reason nothing with mass ever reaches light speed. And it is not a speed limit sign you can ignore. As you accelerate toward light speed, your effective mass, your resistance to further acceleration, climbs toward infinity. Every fraction of a percent you gain closer to that final speed requires more and more energy to push you further. Not twice as much, not 10 times. Approaching infinity. To actually reach the speed of light, you would need infinite energy. There is no engine for that. There is no fuel for that. The entire energy output of every star in the observable universe, every one of the estimated 2 trillion galaxies, none of it is enough. The speed of light is not the fastest anything has gone. It is the wall the universe built at the edge of possibility for anything with mass. Only things with 0 mass, like photons, like light itself, travel at that speed. Because they have no mass to resist. They do not accelerate to light speed. They are born at light speed and exist at no other velocity. Set aside the physics of impossibility for a moment. If you could somehow ride at light speed, what would it look like? The honest answer is, nothing like the movies. As you approach light speed, the light from stars in front of you would blue shift, compressing in wavelength, shifting toward ultraviolet and beyond, eventually toward radiation you cannot see. The stars ahead would not streak past you. They would gather into a bright ring around the direction of travel, then wash into blinding light. Behind you, darkness. The light from those stars cannot catch up. They vanish. You would not be surfing through a beautiful tunnel of stars. You would be moving into a wall of compressed radiation with nothing but void behind you. The universe at light speed is not a journey through space. It is closer to the universe folding shut around you. So let us return to the original question, what if you could travel at the speed of light? For you, no time passes. 0. You age nothing, you experience nothing of the journey. In a very real sense, you would not travel through space. You would simply cease to exist at one point and begin to exist at another. For everyone else, the universe continues. Stars age, civilizations rise or fall. Depending on where you went and how far, the people you left behind may be long gone by the time you return, even though you feel like you have been away for moments. This is the strange truth at the heart of Einstein's relativity. Space and time are not a stage on which things happen. They are flexible, stretchable, deeply personal. Your time is not my time. Your space is not my space. Speed is not just motion. It is a dial that turns the rate of your experience through reality. And the speed of light is the absolute maximum that dial can reach. It is the universe's way of telling you there are rules here. Elegant, beautiful, unbreakable rules. And they are stranger than anything we ever imagined before we found them. You asked what happens if you travel at the speed of light. Here is the answer. Time stops for you. Space contracts to nothing. The journey takes 0 seconds from your perspective and potentially thousands of years from everyone else's. And you could never actually do it, not with mass, not with a body, not with anything we know of, because the universe itself forbids it. But the fact that we can ask that question, work through the mathematics, and arrive at a precise and testable answer, that is one of the most remarkable things our species has ever done. Einstein did not have a spaceship. He had a thought experiment. And from that, just imagining what it would be like to ride alongside a beam of light, he rebuilt our entire understanding of reality. The universe is not just big, it is deeply, beautifully, unsettlingly weird, and we are just getting started exploring it. If you want to go deeper into the physics of space and time, subscribe. There is a lot more where that came from. Next time, we are asking another question that sounds simple and gets very strange very fast. What exactly happened in the first second after the Big Bang?